Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Josh. You may have seen me at the shop or at any of the shows. This is my first time on YouTube as a full-length video. Today I'm going to be looking at the DTs, the DT10 and DT11. We're going to look at the differences between the two and what makes perhaps one better than the other depending on people's opinions. I personally think they're both great guns in their both separate ways. Big Beretta fan myself. So starting with the DT10, I think produced from around, I think the first one was 1998, I believe the first one came out. Ran up until about 2010, 2012, around those times, don't quote me. Many produced, many people shot it, highly respected gun, won a lot of medals. Derived then into the DT11, produced from I think 2012 and still being produced today. Finished in the Beretta hand finish section where they finish the SL3s, the SOs, etc. So we'll dive straight into it and we'll have a look at the differences. So starting at the back of the guns, the first thing we're going to look at is the recoil pad. So on the DT10 we had a standard fit. It was not interchangeable. It was, if you wanted it shortened, you took the pad off, had a new one fitted. Same if you wanted it lengthened. If you really wanted it shortened to a point, you would then start chopping the stock. Did make them less desirable in the future when you came to sell them, unless you were a short person or perhaps a lady that needed the extra to get the head further forward on the stock to get into the correct position. When we look at the DT11, pretty much everybody knows now they come with the microcore pad system. Brilliant system, especially for people fitting the guns. They came in, I believe, a 13, 18, 23 and 28 mil pad. And then they also came with spacers 1/2 inch, I believe 1/4 inch and inch. Don't quote me if I'm wrong on that. The other big difference between the two guns in the stock is that the DT11 has B-fast weights. This allows us to balance the gun pretty much wherever we wanted. 30-inch guns do balance very well from the factory. 32s do require a little bit of weight to add to them. The DT10 didn't have that feature. Basically, if you wanted to balance the DT10, I know a lot of people used to stick lead in the back of it, or any sort of form of weighting, basically to mimic having weights in the back of the stock. Both guns do have a palm swell. I particularly like that. When we look at the palm swell, the pistol grip radius, they are very similar. Drop at comb and drop at heel are slightly different. I believe the DT11 is 35-55 and I believe the DT10 is around 36-56, so about a mil difference, not a huge lot. Back to the radius of the palm swell, again, like I say, radius of the pistol grip, sorry, they are very similar. The differences are in the head of the stock. So if we put both of them together, if I can do that, so you may notice that the DT11 is actually wider than the DT10. Reason for this is the DT11 action is wider. They made it wider by 2.8 millimeters. Couple of reasons for this. One, it was to help balance the gun. Put a little bit more weight in the action towards the back, always helps with balancing. And two, obviously when you add more metal, you add more weight, less recoil. One of the things, just one of the things that add to the how smooth the DT11 actually is. Moving on to the action, they are very similar in action, other than I say the measurements are slightly different, DT11 being slightly wider. Both guns have the Kirsten bolt system. So when we say that, what we mean is there is a lock-in bolt that slides across the top there, protrudes from the outside of the action. So secure, so strong. You won't outshoot one of these. If you do get to the point where, when we can tell when they are wearing down, what we will see is it won't protrude out the side of the action. This one has still got some sticking out of the action. The gun is so many years old, it is absolutely fine, it will keep going. GMK do offer an oversized option, so if it was you wanted it changing, you can have it changed. Going on to the top levers and the safeties, both are very similar. The top levers pretty much look identical on both guns. Nice big surface area to open up. That's what you want with a sporting gun. You don't want to be faffing around messing. Both guns are selective. With the DT10 you did get a skeet, I believe, which didn't have selective barrels, but did have a safety obviously, and same story with the DT11. You can get a non-selective skeet gun and I believe a trap gun as well in both forms. Top lever on the DT10 is obviously black. I do kind of prefer that myself, same as the safety. DT11 is the silver finish that you find on the side of the Action. Very crisp, you know the safety's on or off. Obviously with the safety, that was the reason, that was the way you could drop the trigger out as well. So DT standing for drop out trigger or trigger unit, whichever way you want to say it. Idea being, if you had any issues, it was all contained in one area. You could change it within seconds and get back to shooting. There was no penalties, you didn't have to forfeit your round or whatever you were doing. Nice and easy, works the same on both guns. Safety forward, click an extra click. Open the gun until the top barrel is protruding over the top of the Action, pull down, out it comes. Easy maintenance. Also works as a safety feature. If you are traveling, you can take it out, put it in your luggage somewhere else where it's not near the guns, and the gun is basically unusable. It's just an ornament at that point. Putting it back in, same operation, just backwards. Slide it in, click it in, job done. That's it, you're ready to go again. Can be changed within seconds. This originally derived from the ASC, which also had a dropout trigger, which is basically the grandfather of both of these guns. The trigger is obviously adjustable on both guns. Again, that helps with length of pull, comfort of shooting, just makes the gun even better again. Obviously we see it a lot now on 525, 694, 692, etc. Very, very good feature. The biggest difference between this and perhaps you would say the 694, the 694 uses coil springs on the hammers. These use V springs or leaf springs, however you want to say it. This does produce a much crisper trigger pull. Shoot one, find out, you'll see what I mean. You will see the same thing on, as I say, the DTs have all got the leaf springs or V springs, as well as the SL3, and we all know, everybody knows how crisp the SL3 trigger pulls are. They're the same springs they use in these as well. Very, very good triggers. The Action on both guns, very plain. Both have a nice silver Action. The DT10 came with gold. It wasn't proper inlaid gold, so if you got a well-used one, or perhaps one that hadn't been looked after too well, what you do tend to find is the gold missing from the Beretta on the side, and the Beretta Trident and the DT10 signature on the bottom. This one is a particularly nice model, has all the gold in it. Very nice example. The DT11, they changed it up a little bit, so they did a bit of swirly on it, as I like to say. The chrome on there as well just sets the gun off nicely. There's not a lot of chrome, it's just enough. I think it looks very good. And obviously the dark blue, you know it's a DT11 when you see that, when you see the curve into the DT. The 694 followed suit. Again, I particularly like the blue. Obviously blue sticking with Beretta, you can see why they've done it. Now you can get it in a DLC form as well, which is, in my opinion, even better. Complete black Action with a, I think it's called a zombie green colour into the Swell there, and into the DT, and into the Trident at the bottom. It does look very good. We have got some coming, look out for them. Moving on to the forends, both of these particular ones have schnabels. You can get extra forends for the DT11, so you can request them with beaver tails, you can request them with the rounded London, which is sort of an in-between of the two. The DT10, I believe, was only available with the schnabel as a sporter, unless you had the adjustable comb, which then came with the beaver tail, and so did the traps. They came with the beaver tail as well. Biggest difference in the two guns is probably going to be the barrels. So both guns have a 8x10mm tapered top rib. Both have a white bead at the end. Both are ventilated. Both of them are 18.6 bores. I know you could get the DT10 with, I think the trap and perhaps I think the skeet, they were 18.4, they were nominal. These were slightly overboard, making it a little bit smoother to shoot. Once we get into the DT11 though, it does change. So we do see Stelium barrels on the DT11. What we also see is a triple forcing cone, which helps massively with the reducing recoil, and basically that helps with the transition to the next target because your gun's not flying up in the air everywhere. I believe the forcing cones on the 30-inch are 450mm. I believe on a 32 it may be 480mm, around those figures. We then get into the chokes. Both are multi-choked. I believe you can get the DT11 in a fixed choke trap. Not as popular anymore, especially with the steel shot ban coming in. The DT10 was a similar story. A lot of people had them teagued, made them multi-choke, made them able to take the steel when that ban comes in, unfortunately. The DT10 was Optima choked. They were extended Optimas. They had an awful choke key. The C choke key, I think a lot of people will agree, wasn't their best design. You can get it to work, but thankfully that didn't carry on. They were colour banded as well, which then carried on into the DT11, into the 694, etc. So from the bottom we had blue, which was cylinder, we had red, which was skeet, we had yellow or gold for the later ones, which was quarter or improved cylinder. We then had green, which was modified or half, into black, which was 3/4 or improved modified, into full, which you don't actually get with the DT10, sorry, DT11, but you can purchase it separately. The full was originally white, but then I believe it developed into silver, which we see today. Optima HP chokes, probably one of the best chokes out there. A lot of people tend to stick with the standard chokes from Beretta. With the help of the forcing cones, the ballistics in the DT11 are just ridiculous. The patterning you can get from these guns, you can see why they're so successful. Everybody I remember was saying perhaps they wouldn't work well with fibre wads. We've never seen an issue. We've never had anybody come in saying there's an issue. They just perform superbly. So they're pretty much the main differences between the DT10 and DT11. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. One has technologically come a long way from the other, but they've all derived from the same thing, which was the ASC. It's good to see the evolution of the guns, how things change, how the manufacturers look at things, and how the people that shoot them respond back to the factories and tell them that perhaps this is better, that's better, that's better. DT11 still super popular. Obviously, like I mentioned, there is a DLC out. We will do a video on that. Super gun, can't wait to get our hands on another one of those. We have already had one, but it left the building as quick as Elvis did. 10-year warranty with the Berettas at the moment. Any new Beretta, including the DT11, Beretta are offering a 10-year warranty up until the 1st of the 1st 2025, so take advantage of that. Obviously free gun fitting service with any gun you buy from us as well. So we can run through pads, triggers, adjustable combs, all that sort of stuff, adjustable ribs if you go for a trap gun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions, please give us a call, give us an email. I've been Josh. Please follow for more. Thank you very much.